Welcome, welcome. Welcome everybody to the WineBoss channel, your home of your Razorback football, sports information channel. This is your first time joining. Please make sure that you like the channel and make sure you subscribe to the WineBoss so you can be up to date with all the new sports stories as we drop. So today, we're going to talk a little bit about the wide receivers in the unit and the state of the unit based upon where it was last year. Um, the wide receivers for Arkansas last year, as a whole, was not good. As a whole, now Armstrong was awesome, and I feel like that we didn't use Tesla enough and in the right ways. So, as a whole, not because of talent, but because of the way that they were used, it was almost like we had one guy to pass to. Well, anytime you only have one guy pass to, that usually ends up hurting the team more than it ends up helping. Last year, it ended with many players. I think it was a total of 24 total. They ended up leaving, transferring from the team, and that's not to mention people that went to the NFL. So it was a major overhaul for the team. And the wide receiver position, when you look at Andrew Armstrong, when you look at Isaiah Satanga, when you look at Tesla, when you look at the kid that transferred, Desmond James, I believe that was his name. Um, when you look at all those guys that left, we were pretty much left empty. Um, I think it might have been a couple of carryovers, but none that really had any playing experience. So we were kind of up against it. And uh, our coaching staff did a great job of hitting the transfer portal, as well as recruiting out of the high school ranks as well. Working hard to try to, load up that position again because that position all of a sudden became very, very, very bare. However, they were able to score pretty good. I would say, as a whole, it was very good. I would say I would give the talent level probably like a B plus, and that's collectively. I believe that we have some A plus guys out there as well. It's a lot of speed, not just from one guy, for almost everybody out there. They can really run. And coach was talking about that, just how much speed is out there. So when you got that type of speed out there, the defense definitely has to respect speed. And it would allow the Hogs to be able to, run the ball in more advantageous situations. So instead of running up against a 8-man front, you know, bringing the safeties down because they don't fear of the vertical ball going deep because you don't have the speed or the precision and efficiency to be able to hurt them in that way. So this year they were able to, get some guys out there that could run. And as I previewed before, Omega Blake coming from Charlotte, 6'2", 180. He has 1 year of eligibility left. Last year, he only had a total of 32 receptions, but he had almost 1,000 yards. That's insane. 795 yards on 32 receptions and 9 touchdowns in 2024. That's over half of what we passed for as a team still. So this guy is a big time playmaker. Um, so when you look at Blake, again, we know that he was a highly touted uh, portal guy, chose the Razorbacks over Florida State, South Carolina, and many others. Former Gamecock from 2021 to 2023 had a breakout season as a redshirt junior this year, entering bowl season as the nation's leading receiver. in yards per catch at a staggering 24.8 yards a catch. 24.8 yards per catch. That is big play. Big play Blake is his new name. So, yes, he definitely comes in with a lot of cachet, I must say. And then we have Raylan Sharp. He comes to us from Fresno State. Raylan is 5'9" and 165 pounds. Uh, through his career in 3 seasons at Fresno, um, he got 140 receptions, 1,800 yards, and I think 11 touchdowns. So, I mean, steady. I mean, I'm not gonna say he's special, but uh, he chose us over North Texas and Eastern Carolina, which obviously wasn't much competition with him. What to know about Raylan Sharp? He played for Bobby Petrino at Missouri State. Aha, aha. So he understands the system, and he most likely will be ready to play immediately. So this one for the Hogs, it makes a lot of sense, especially given their youth and experience at wide receiver in 2025. Sharp was an FCS All American in 2023. So when he was playing for Bobby, he was an All American, and he started his official visit December the 11th of 2024. He only just needed a couple of days to make a decision. So he already knew that he was coming to play for Bobby again. So I think that pickup could end up being good, even though he's not highly coveted, but still, I believe with the connection to Bobby, that he could be a pretty nice weapon as well, especially giving it to him in the short yardage and letting him run after the catch. And then there's Cam Shanks. Cam Shanks is 5'8", 180 pounds. He comes from UAB. Um, Last year, he had 62 receptions, 656 yards, and 6 touchdowns. Not too bad. He led the nation in punt return yards, 329, and average 20.6 and 2 touchdowns. So he averaged 20.6 yards per return. So and he's a returner and a receiver. Wow. I would say that's another score. What to know about Cam? Cam was a late addition to the Hogs visit, and he eventually ended up signing, um, and he will be used as a return specialist and a receiver all in one. So even if he doesn't start at receiver, because you got Raylan, uh, the guy, the transfer, Raylan Sharp, I think that was his name. Um, they about the same size, so even if he doesn't get out there to start, he still is going to be out there. He was a first team All AAC returner, and a third team selection at wide receiver. So he was first team as a returner, and third team as a wide receiver. All American Conference, American Conference, American Athletic Conference. That's what it is. He also scored against us last year, the Arkansas Razorbacks, in a 37-27 loss last September. So I would say another good pick, right? Moving right along. Uh, so Jaden Platt, we're going to talk a little bit about him. Jaden Platt comes to us from Texas A&M. He's 6'5", 260 pounds. He has 3 years of eligibility left. He only played 7 snaps last year for Texas A&M, and 17 snaps in 2023. So he really hasn't been used, but he has amazing attributes. Um, what to know about Platt? Well, Platt uh, basically was a target of the Razorbacks out of high school, and he chose Texas A&M. But he came back to us, and we hope that he's able to fill in the void left by none other than Luke Hack. So I'm excited about Jaden Platt. He's played in the SEC already, even though he hasn't played, but he still is SEC trained and SEC prep. So I like I like that. I like that pick. I think that based on what we had and have at tight end, he's clearly a starter. But I do see that he probably would need a little bit of seasoning, but I do see a lot of potential in him. Next, we have Courtney Crutchfield. Courtney Crutchfield comes to us from Missouri, but he was bred in Arkansas, coming from Pine Bluff High School. Crutchfield is 6'1", 180 pounds. He has 4 years of eligibility left because he redshirted last year. Um, he was a four-star recruit coming out of Arkansas, and basically, he chose Missouri over us in 2024. But just 1 year later, he comes back because they really didn't use him and really didn't have a real plan for him. And I think that Eli Drinkwitz, he just wanted to make sure that he took our best players just to rub it to us. That's all. I don't really think that he really had, you know, much of a plan to use him because if he did, then he would have used him. So I think it was just kind of like gamesmanship because he's always doing that to us. That's why we really can't stand him and he can't stand us. So we'll talk a little bit about. I'm hearing things about Antonio Jordan. He is a true freshman from Warren. He's 6'6", 234 pounds. That is a matchup nightmare. So, what do you do when you have a Raylan Sharp or a Cam Shanks running around in the slot, working you underneath, and then you got to worry about Omega Blake beating you up top? That's a lot to have to deal with dealing with trying to figure out what to do. Jordan is already making plays right now. Through 3 days, he's been one of the most impressive receivers out there, and he's going to find his way out on the field. There's no way to deny a guy like that because you don't want to lose a guy like that. And he was slept on in high school too. Like many people didn't have him projected to be that high, but so far so good. He's making his presence felt right now in fall camp. We're gonna talk a little bit about Andy Jean, and Andy Jean. He is a 3-star transfer, the 171st wide receiver out of the portal. So I don't know what we're gonna get out of him, but I know that he played at Florida. I know that he played at Florida, and I looked at some clippings, some write-ups about him, and they were saying that he had top end speed. They said that he wasn't the best at running routes at that time. I think that was 2 years ago when he played at Florida. But he played at Florida, so that's another guy that played in the SEC. And anytime that you're trying to build a team and win fast, you have to have guys that have experience. So um, I don't know what he's going to do, but he's going to provide another guy that can beat you over the top. And if you combine him with everything else, you might have something in the passing game. Then there's Jalen Brown, another guy that can run. Jalen Brown was a 4-star transfer, and he was the 14th receiver taken. Not taken, the 14th receiver ranked coming into the portal. So he's projected to be pretty good too as well. So, and I heard Sam Pittman talking about his top end speed. So there's a lot of speed everywhere. There's speed and there's size. Not to mention the 30-year-old guy that we got playing receiver at 6'3", 230 pounds. So a lot of size, a lot of talent, and a lot of depth, and most of all, a lot of options. A lot of options. And in Taylor Green, to me, I mean, he did okay last year, but with a year of experience with the system, you should be able to not only find your number one option, you should be able to find the second and third now at this point, and you got top tier, uh, talented guys out there that could be the number 2 option or the 3rd option in that play, and I see Talon maturing. I see Talon, um, commanding the offense and knowing that he has it all under control. If he stays healthy, even though I like our backup in KJ Jackson, but if he stays healthy and we can minimize the many opportunities that he has to run. We don't want him to run like he did last year. We don't need him to do that. You got Braylon Russell. You got Braylon Russell that is going to command a lot of carries. You got AJ Greenback. You still got Rodney Hill. You got the transfer from New Mexico. Name will come to me. Mike Washington. So, I mean, you got guys that can run the ball, and then you're gonna have guys that's making plays in the passing game. So, Taylor Green just have to manage. That's it. If we can keep him healthy, and he's able to command the offense and utilize all this talent, and the offensive line has to protect him. And we're gonna talk a little bit more about that in another video because that's another unit. We're gonna talk about the quarterback. We're gonna talk about the running backs. We're gonna talk about the defensive line. We got a whole month to go until opening day. So we got a lot to talk about, but it's all going to help everybody on this channel to be better acquainted with the guys that we have because hey, we want to win. And if you real fans, you want to know who you're rooting for. So that's pretty much the topic of discussion for today in today's episode. Make sure you like this clip, this video. Make sure you like the channel. And make sure you subscribe to the Wine Boss channel for all this good high level Razorback commentary. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm the only guy with it, but hey, you know what I mean? I study this, I bleed this. So make sure you like and subscribe to the Wine Boss channel. Until the next time, I'm out of here. Y'all be safe. Take care.